Good Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. A red flag warning still in effect through at least Monday, 6 p.m. for most of the valley spots all the way to about Turlock. We'll see it in effect till 6 a.m. for a lot of areas right around Santa Rosa, Napa area, north of Fairfield, and just kind of the surrounding areas of San Francisco. Otherwise, we are expecting to see those dry conditions continue today, as well as those very strong winds and warm weather ahead. Now, the red flag warning, this is going to cause a lot of fires that may spark to spread quickly today. We saw that as of Saturday, at least 4 big fires burning in acreage there. One of the biggest ones, about 550 acres burned in Butte County. Now, it's going to be hot remaining for today in the 90s, but we'll even see temperatures rising even further by the midweek. We're talking mid-90s by around Tuesday. Now, the windy conditions do continue. We're looking at anywhere from 15 to 20 mile per hour winds today in the valley. Yesterday, a little bit more windy when we saw them 20 to 25 miles per hour, so a little slower for today. Otherwise, we're still looking at those winds picking up, so anything that does spark any kind of fire would still move very quickly. Some of the strongest winds in the coastal range. You're seeing some of the orange shades there, yellow, green, orange. That's anywhere from 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts that could be expected today. As we start moving on into your Monday, things slow down briefly overnight, but actually start ramping up a bit as we get to 4:30 p.m. on Monday. About 20 mile per hour winds here. You can see that pretty consistent. But as you look at the blue shade, you notice that 10 mile per hour winds in a lot of the surrounding areas, including the coastal range. So that's a good sign there as things start to come to an end and a high pressure system begins to move its way toward the east. So we'll start to see things calm down to become light winds as we start getting into Tuesday. Now let's talk about the dry conditions today, because the dry conditions are leading to everything drying out quickly, so the humidity is low. When we have low humidity that are in the teens and even single digits by the afternoon, that just causes all that grass, that vegetation to dry out so much faster that by the time we start getting into the middle of summer, things spark and things move quick and things burn up fast because of that low humidity. And we're looking at this low humidity as early as the beginning of May, so not good news. As we start looking at it right around the early morning hours, I'm talking 8 a.m. on Sunday, 30% humidity. This is not a number you want to see in the early morning hours. You want to see these numbers closer to 70, 80%. But now we're looking at 30%. So by the afternoon, we could see some of these numbers down to those single digits, 8 to even 15%. So not good there. All right, let's talk about these fires that are already starting to burn because of those winds, because of the dry conditions and the warmer temperatures. So you have the heat, those warm temperatures we're talking about, the fuel, the vegetation that's been drying out, and now the oxygen, those winds picking up, fanning those flames. So that's kind of that dangerous triangle effect for fire conditions. Now, the dangerous fire conditions that are really a big contributing factor right now is that we haven't really seen significant rain since about March. So we have been behind in rain over as much as about 12 inches. So we're so far behind at this point that we're already beginning fire season early on. We've already had 2 red flag warnings in effect the first week of May. And these 2 red flag warnings that took effect didn't just last one day. They spanned 2 to 3 days each. So we're already seeing this as early as the Bay Area, also looking at it much earlier than they're used to even seeing it. And then the fuel, like the grasses, that vegetation we're talking about is drying out so much quicker as well. So when we start getting the fires that spark, more areas are prone to burn up because of these dry conditions earlier. Now, the recent heat and now those winds that are picking up are combining to create these dangerous contributing factors to wildfires. Now, let's talk about Wildfire 101. We're starting early in the season here, and it's just a good reminder to have an evacuation plan. Make sure you're signed up. There's wireless emergency alerts. There's now apps that you can sign up for to get notifications on your phone if there's a fire burning in your area, especially if you know your area is up next to grassy areas and regions like foothills or even toward the airport. There's a lot of grassland there. Keep your phone handy. Always have a charger on you, and it's always good to have one of those portable chargers ready and already charged up so you can grab and go when you need to. Have cash. It's not something we think about often, but typically when there's wildfires, they tend to turn off the power for you. So that means if you're using credit cards, you're swiping things, they wouldn't be working. Having cash handy in a to-go bag would be useful for you if you're trying to get food, gas on the go, and just making sure your gas is kind of filled up in these kind of conditions before you head home from work or you're outing for the day, just kind of having it ready to go in the garage before you need to jump out and get out of the car. Usually a lot of these burns and these big wildland grass fires happen in the middle of the night as well. So you need to be able to get up and go if you have to jump out of your sleep. and then have that go bag ready with all the stuff necessary in it. Again, the cash, the important documents, some of those phone chargers, the portable charger, things like that. So just get ready to go if you need to. And this is just a reminder because we are starting the season. Now, the high pressure system just over the Pacific here will continue to grow and build. That'll push this jet stream here up further north, and as that happens, it's going to leave all those clouds out of the area. Any moisture that wanted to come our way is just not happening. The high and the low, they're pretty close together here, and that's what's creating pressure building up between the two. As that pressure builds, it brings those winds in from the north, and that's where we're dealing with those gusty conditions. The high pressure leaves the cloud out of the way, and that's what's leading to warmer temperatures for us as we start moving through the week. That high will kind of move overhead, clear skies for the next few days. That's going to make the temperatures in those mid-90s. Then we do get a few clouds over the weekend, partly cloudy conditions, dropping temperatures into the mid-80s for next weekend. Now let's talk about this dangerous heat that we're going to be seeing in the next couple of days. Now it's just an important reminder, look before you lock, whether you have children or pets in the car. It is just going to be way too hot in these temperatures to be leaving anything like that, especially so important things like that in cars. And on average, every 10 days, a child dies from heat stroke in a vehicle. This is just the start of the beginning of these dangerous conditions for heat right now. Avoid the heat of the day, plenty of fluids. It's always important. And remember to kind of limit the caffeine intake because it takes away from you getting all the hydration you need. Seek out cool places. That's always a great reminder. Have you checked your indoor AC units yet? Get that fixed. The summer is kicking off right now, and you want to get ahead of everyone else who's trying to call and make those appointments. Cooling centers, pools, make some plans for the summer. It's always a fun thing to think about too, with hey, where can we cool off? All right, let's talk about these temperatures in the lower foothills for your Sunday. Low 80s in Jackson, Sonoran 79, 67 Truckee, 72 Pollock Pine, 76 in Nevada City. And we will expect temperatures to be in those mid-70s Wednesday, Thursday for the high Sierra. And if you're going to be toward the Bay Area today, low 70s in San Francisco. Taking your mom out in Vallejo, 80 degrees, 85 in Napa, 87 in Antioch. Manteca, you're looking at 89 today, as well as Modesto, Patterson, Tracy, Stockton, and Lodi. Maybe some wine tasting. 89 in Sacramento, as well as Yuba City, Woodland, 90 in Colusa. And then the next couple days, like I mentioned, we are looking at those warmer temperatures heating up into the mid-90s from Monday to Wednesday. Then we'll finally start to see that gradual cool down toward next weekend as we'll start to see those temperatures there approaching those mid to low 80s.